Yeah, right. Okay, cool. We can start.
Yeah.
So, after technical difficulties, hello and welcome to, I don't know, like, this is the first interview that I run in this type of manner on brudnebrzmienie. So, whoever listens to this beautiful thingy, good evening, hello, good morning, whatever you listen to, however you listen to. I'm Artur, and today I will be your host. And we will be talking with Laura from the band Faun. And then I messed up in the very first sentence.
Don't
Uh,
you worry.
so, hello, Laura. How do you do today? How's
I'm
everything?
doing fine. Actually, it's late evening here. I'm in Switzerland today. Actually, I'm from Germany, but my husband is Swiss, and we were visiting the Swiss family. So we had
Nice.
a full day of thunderstorms, which makes me incredibly happy because I love thunderstorms. And yeah, now I'm enjoying a late summer night. How are
Nice.
you?
I'm actually really good. Thank you very much for asking. Yeah, it has been. So I'm based in Krakow, um, and today, like, the weather is, it's about to rain, but it doesn't. I can summarize it like this, and it's dead crazy.
It's crazy. It's actually the memories I have of Krakow are weather memories because I remember that we were there in was it early March? No, it was March definitely, and it was snowing and it was really really cold. But the snow didn't stay frozen. It just made everything incredibly wet.
Yeah,
Also my shoes.
sounds like a typical March in Poland, especially in Krakow. But we'll get to that. I have a few questions about the band itself
Yeah.
because the music that you play and the way that you play it kind of has taken me aback. I can 100% say I didn't know about the band prior to our interview, uh, given that lately I've been listening to Frank Sinatra for the last few months. So my Spotify couldn't get me into folk nor anywhere else. But one thing that I can see is the music that you do is it's extremely true to itself, as in it sounds modern, but at the same time you do all the things that cannot make it modern. And
Hmm.
my first question to open this up is, how do you feel about playing music which kind of isn't modern, but then at the same time, everything you do, try to modernize it?
Hmm. It's an interesting question. I never thought about it because our music kind of feels normal to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just feels something we just need to do, and we're just doing it because we need to do it. But that we're not questioning it. And that's, yeah. I mean, I came into the band 8 years ago, but the band has existed for 25 almost, I think.
You started in '98, so
That's
27 years?
27. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So, quite a long time already. And the former and still band members who have who founded Found, they did that due to a very big passion for medieval music. And for the first real album, Neil came in, and Neil is the electric musician who gave the twist to Found. So all the modern stuff, the synthesizers and beats, were his or are his fingerprints. Um, and yeah, it always evolved. You
Yeah.
know, at some point, Stefan came in, and he's not only playing a hurdy-gurdy. You know, if he played the hurdy-gurdy the way the hurdy-gurdy is without doing anything to it, it would sound exceptional medieval. But he's playing it with a bauba and kind of crazy delays and a
Oh, yeah.
looper and a reverb. So that makes it more kind of an guitar vibes, like psychedelic 70s rock. And Yeah, at some point I entered the band and I'm not coming from medieval vocals. I'm rather coming from rock and yeah, progressive rock and metalish, punkish, whatever. So it's just I think Faun created the sound by just always kind of finding its way through life, and that's also the way it feels like doing something supernatural to us, just living.
Okay, so then the music is literally a representation of how you feel and how you do about life.
Oh,
Let's say,
absolutely. Especially like, we always try to really connect with people through our interconnectedness with nature. All of us are part of nature, and that really plays the biggest role, I would say, in Faun. Um, as we're all part of nature, we are all connected with each other, and we should take care of nature and find or refine our own roots and yeah, live in these very, very holy thing that is called life. Yeah, very, you say conscious. Yeah, conscious.
I think conscious is the right word. You've mentioned living with nature, togetherness. Mm, so, by extension of the question, you've mentioned that the music that you do, it truly comes from within.
Hmm.
So my follow-up question, which is a conversation that I had with many of my friends across the recent months, is how do you measure success? Given that what you do isn't extremely commercially viable at the like if you read pagan folk music,
Mm.
and then you go, okay, why? And then you go into the music and it's really accessible. So how, from your perspective, how do you measure success? What is success to you?
Yeah, that's a good question, and you can't answer that with one sentence because, in my opinion, there are different forms of success, right? You have financial success,
Yeah.
obviously. You have success in terms of reaching tons of people, which gets closer to what I would call success. I would call success really as an artist, let's say, really as an artist, touching people's souls, like really moving, humbling someone, making them question what they have experienced so far, making them question their lives or what is going on in the world right now, making them think about something. That is success for me as an artist.
Okay. I really like this answer, and I may steal some bits and bobs here and there because I do think in like very similar manner about this.
Hmm.
Um, okay, we've touched about this. So you've mentioned evolution of the music. Do you see the band moving sharp into different direction if you feel like it, or now found on its own kind of leads you how it wants to be led?
Hmm. That's a hard one. I think the good thing we found is that it's not predictable where we're going, because nobody ever thought, probably when, especially not the members who founded Phone, and they didn't think about like where this would go. They just had to do it. And also me, I mean, I must say, when I got asked to join Found and you found from my youth, I was a teen wandering through the woods, listening to Found from time to time. So that was really exceptionally, yeah, amazing for me
Yeah.
when they asked me. I was like, what? But it also felt so natural. That's the thing. Of course, we planned like what should we do next? What would be smart, and but also what do we need to express? It's always those two ways. It's always an inner urge to change something for the better, and that just fits also the band's vibes and also the name so well because Faun is a protector of the woods,
Yeah.
and we kind of see ourselves as probably a protector of the message of the protector of the woods, if you get me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm
So
100% with you.
yeah, so I can't probably answer this like to the fullest because I cannot see into the future.
Yeah, but you kind of answered the question then, because from my perspective and from my research when I was preparing for the interview, um, for me, the music feels like it's constantly introducing new elements. And as you've mentioned, the programming, the old sampling kind of things, it differentiates you from what I know about folk scene. When like my background is mostly rock and metal,
Hmm.
and I frustrate this kind of situation. And then every time I venture into the folk genre, it's extremely interesting. And you mentioned humbling, which is I never thought about this, but this is like very on point how I feel about you know you kind of bring the message from beyond, from the times like we didn't know what music is, and kind of revamping it for the modern world, which is extremely fun. It's
I'm
absolutely
happy
extremely
to
fun.
hear that. That is really, yeah.
Like my first thought when I was listening to all the top songs on Spotify was, hey, I feel like I'm 13 again and playing games where I'm building castles.
Yeah,
And,
I
and,
can relate to that.
and for me, it was extremely interesting experience because I haven't had that in an extremely long time.
Awesome.
So yeah, so there's that. Mm, you've mentioned using hurdy-gurdy with electrical like appliances, wah-wahs, delays, and etc.
Yeah.
Does the instrumentarium, the instruments that you use, also changes with you? Like, does it evolve? Do you seek to find new ways of expressing the melodies that you have in your head?
Oh, definitely. I mean, in the early days, Oliver, so the frontman who is also still in the band, he played, for example, mostly Nyckelharpa and his Irish bouzouki, and this Nyckelharpa really shaped a lot of different Faun songs. But he's not really playing it anymore.
Yeah.
He changed to Mora which is an older instrument. Um, I think it is an older instrument. However, it looks older. I hope he's not hearing this. However, um, so the songs and the sound of the songs change with the instrumentation. And for example, Adaya, who has been a member of the band for 5 years now, she plays different flutes than the flute player we had before her, which was a conscious choice because she tried out what she would love to play,
Mhm.
what, in her opinion, which sounds fits the songs, and then she chose the flutes. And same goes for example, I the songs I wrote in the past didn't contain anything like from my instrumentations or from the instruments I play very roughly. But on the new album, we have some stuff from my instruments now, like from different synthesizers. I have actually also an overtone flute and a drum, and that just changes, because
Mhm.
sometimes we're like we might be a little bit like little children. We play with the stuff we have and then we lose interest. Or we find something better, more interesting, so we take this. And then maybe we come back to the other stuff again. Whatever suits the song. That was a big, big issue on this album now, on Hex. We really got knee deep in changing stuff and trying uh, for the, don't know, 20th time another melody because we just wanted to have the most perfect outcome. But for that, we had to try different stuff, and we really kicked out a lot of stuff with the biggest argument there is whatever suits the song.
Okay. Um, so how does the process of you starting a song and then evolving into what lands on the album is? Like you mentioned, trying to find the perfect instrument. Was it the sound of the instrument not right? Was it the expression on the instrument not right? How does that look from within the can?
It's really different from song to song. We had some songs, that were at first only or were, for example, beats and a melody but no words, and then
Yeah.
we tried out, okay, let's go for a melody, or we already had, or let's say there was a mastermind of the song. It was mostly like that. And a mastermind had on their minds, like, I want to have a hurdy-gurdy solo in there. And then the hurdy-gurdy is Stefan, he had to look for a melody. And we were on this album, we were really like nitpicking and saying, like, yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Yeah, you have to go for another time. And at some point, it was really frustrating. It was really frustrating. I can remember a song, where I recorded like vocals vocal melodies, different melodies, like 5 times, and nothing landed on the final version. And that is so frustrating because you think it's good, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would not send it out there. Um, and yeah, it can be devastating for you as an artist to not have it on the album. But on the other hand, I am very, very proud of ourselves that we have this safe space, that we created kind of a zone in which we can be absolutely honest with each other without taking it personal. And I would be lying if I wasn't taking it personal sometimes, because you just question yourself, you're doubting yourself. But on the other hand, 2 days later, you listen to it and you're like, yeah, okay, I understand it. And it gives you the opportunity to grow as an artist and also as a band.
Yeah.
And now that I can remember us being like sometimes frustrated as a whole band, as the whole collective, like I can't do this anymore, we can't do this anymore. And then, when we filmed the video, our latest music video for Lament, where we were upon top of a mountain, we were standing together. We just had the album finished, and we were like, we're so proud. We're so proud. And that was the most incredible feeling we ever had as a band. I can really say that. It was awesome. So sometimes, really, the path is the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like we could detour into the whole conversation about what is more important, the destination or the journey. But
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm keeping track of the time.
yeah.
So we will definitely have to do this again someday in the future because I'm just taking notes about all the questions that I want to
I
have.
would love to. I'm totally up for it.
Mega. So then let's go into the Poland centric part of the questions because this is one thing that I really love talking to people from abroad because my perception of Poland is completely different because I was born here and I've lived here for most of my life. So this is not the first foray of Faun into Poland. Like you've
No.
played here already a couple of times. So do you see a difference between the Polish crowds and the crowds outside of Poland? Collectively, I try to keep it as a very open question.
I cannot say that Polish people are different than the whole world's
Yes.
people because, of course, every country's people have their very unique vibe. But I have to say, all my memories to Poland and Polish people and Polish crowds are amazing because it's just hospitality is something big.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it plays a major role within your society. One can tell, and yeah, especially the crowds are so 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 welcoming every time we're there, and so friendly and loud and singing along and dancing along, and it always gets warm, and that's a good sign.
That sounds like it, like a really good sign. Okay. Mm, when it comes to Polish cuisine, um, what's your favorite food when it come over for
You know,
Polish food?
you're that's probably the downside in this interview because you're asking the vegan of the band.
So like I'm really happy. Like if there's a vegan part of you that really likes something in Poland, that's
You have these dumplings filled with potatoes.
pierogi.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
those. I love those. I didn't know the name anymore, but I love those.
but I think like me coming from most vegetarian
Hmm.
part of the society, I think Poland got way better in the recent years when it comes to non-meat centric meals. So I think you might be really nicely surprised when you come here in
Oh, absolutely.
September.
I must say, to be honest, um, when we've been on this tour, I talked about that was spring 2023.
Yeah,
Um, we were touring Scandinavia and then Estonia and Latvia, and then we came to Warsaw. And everything, we came there, we arrived there with the nightliner. In Latvia and Estonia, it was incredibly cold. There was still a lot of snow, and the catering wasn't that good. And to be honest, if you're a touring musician, the catering is really important because it's like your home, right? And you need good, proper food to just make it through the day and the night. And yeah, however, we arrived in Warsaw and the sun was shining, and we had like the breakfast, everything was already prepared. They had like so many fresh fruits and whatsoever. And I was there with my child, my firstborn, and my brother who was taking care of her. And we went for a coffee, and it was like, oh my God, Warsaw is so big and it was so springy already. I have the best memories, honestly. It was just like a reawakening from where
that's super cool.
yeah.
That is super cool. I think I can vouch for that. Spend spending my time in the bus. Like there's a reason why food is also called sustenance because
Yeah,
when you tour and then you land in a place where the food is not right, everything goes straight. Like,
it's devastating. Yeah.
oh yeah, it 100% is. Um, I have one question which kind of strays away from me asking you Poland-centric questions, which is when you write songs within the band, which is like extremely interesting to me. Does it happen sometimes when you tour and you meet different people, you meet different cultures? Do you sometimes get influenced by the place you are in, and then in the bus you start writing songs, or this is mostly you decide, okay, we write songs now, and then you kind of recover all the memories you had from whichever time.
Oh, definitely, we get influenced by the places we've been, the places we've visited. It's not like that. We're not that kind of band who, write songs together in the bus.
Yeah,
We're rather those kind of poets who sit somewhere, think about stuff that humbled them, and then we write a poem, for example, or a melody, and that just comes up, and then we probably write more stuff around it, and then we send it into the crowd of like is the band.
yeah,
And then everyone either says like, oh, that's amazing, or like, yeah, let's see. But or we start working together on it, really on a rehearsal, for example. But yeah, so it definitely happened. I know various fan songs that were influenced by different locations. um, it's very important for artists to come around, to get different influences, to also, yeah, see something that might make you question whatsoever your point of view, because otherwise you would not have to tell something, right?
yeah. Okay, okay, Cool. Right. Um, Such a fun interview. I'm having so much fun. But looking at the, uh, I'm really glad to hear that. Looking at the timer, two more questions and then one question, one ask for you. So
Let's go.
there
I'm
was,
just turning on the lights because it's so
yeah,
getting so dark here. But yeah.
just like it's getting very gloomy, like very much David Fincher esque. So like we can also check the questions as well. Right. Is there one thing? Okay, no. What do you find better for you? It's like your answer. Like, um, do you like touring better and interacting with the crowd, or do you like writing songs better and spending time in the studio?
For me, that's an easy one. I love, to be honest, I love writing songs better because I'm, it's not like I'm a shy person, but when I'm making music, it always feels like I'm giving a piece of myself into it, like a piece of my soul. So it makes me really vulnerable, which is can be a good thing because it makes you connect with people. But I just love the process of bringing a song to life so incredibly much. It's so something so special. It really is magic you can re-listen to, and that's crazy. It's somehow crazy what gets you, what how a song can be born out of nothing
Yeah.
somehow. So I remember, for example, one song I wrote, and which is on a Faun album. It's called The Lily, and it's actually I woke up. I just woke up in the middle of the night with the first lines of the song and fell asleep. And usually, that can happen to me, but usually I don't remember it, but I remembered it. And it became a whole song, which is a really, really nice song. And that's so magical.
I
And
think.
you can never predict
Yeah.
how a song evolves.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's a curse of people who like if you wrote one song in your life, you know how hard it is to have a song when you fall asleep or you have it in the middle of the night,
Yeah,
and then like trying to remember it the next day almost never happens. Um,
exactly.
yeah, so I think like many of our listeners may vouch for that. So there's one. Then the second question before we do the last one is, what was the best thing that has happened in your life recently?
In my life,
Yes, like something that was like the best thing that has happened recently for you.
becoming a mother. That's really. I had to think like either becoming a singer or becoming a mother. Um, but I have to say becoming a mother because it taught me so much about myself, and yeah, it was just the most empowering thing ever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a perfectly fine answer. I can vouch for that. Not as it was a good as that. Okay, so the last one before we finish. Two concerts in Poland, one in Warsaw, one in Krakow. Is there anything you can say to whoever might be on the verge of like they kind of want to buy the ticket, but not really? But is there anything you can say to them to like give them the final push to
Oh,
come to the gig?
definitely. It will be the most special tour because actually we already set the set list, and I must say that we're going to play more new songs than ever from a new album, which is something truly special because we're rather shy and we really like to also to stick to songs that are working. So we are trying out new songs for the win this time. I'm really, really, really excited. And with me having said that I enjoy the making the music in the studio process more, I'm really, really looking forward to this tour because we are so spoiled. We are going to take the most amazing cities, and we have so many good memories of Poland from 2023. We haven't returned ever since. So we're really looking forward to all you amazing Polish people out there.
Nice, and I think that's the best end of the conversation that we may have. So again, I'm looking at my notes, looking at the time, and yes, thank you very much, Laura, for taking the time with me on this rather nice um, summer evening, even though we're split almost 2,000 kilometers apart. So thank you very much for spending time with me. That has been brudnebrzmienie Talks. Naming progress, I don't know. It may change, it may not. And if you're listening to this beautiful podcast or whatever, or if you're watching it and you haven't still bought the tickets to Faun gigs in Poland, now is the time to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully see you in Warsaw or
Oh yeah,
Krakow.
100%, absolutely 100%. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Looking forward.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.